City Manager, who had a few words, I believe.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I've asked the Deputy City Manager and Department Heads that they don't need to attend this meeting because we've reviewed the budget with all of you through our numerous workshops and one-on-one meetings. At our last workshop, there was consensus among you all for me to put together a budget based on a lowered millage rate of 1.9, and that is what I present to you today. After your approval, this will make us the second lowest millage rate in Dade County. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, do I have any public speakers?
Mayor, if I can read the resolution into the record.
Please.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, adopting the City of Sunny Isles Beach tentative ad valorem tax millage levy rate at 1.9000 mils per $1,000 of taxable assessed value, which is 6.81% more than the rollback rate of 1.7789 mils for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Given that we've had extensive conversations about this, I'm imagining that someone's ready to make a motion.
No.
I'd like to speak.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you. You guys have been spared my lengthier comments. It's given that I've been out sick, so I ask that you indulge me today. Given the Commission's budget and millage discussions, it's pretty clear to me that there are two schools of thought at play. One is to lower the millage rate and the amount of tax revenue the city collects. This would be sufficient to fund our present needs. The other point of view, the one I favor, is to keep our historically low millage rate as is, which is 2.0, and fund our present needs as well as plan for our future. One view seeks to put a few dollars in your pocket, and my view seeks to secure continuity of service and quality of life. I'm not against lowering our millage rate or making smart cuts to our budget. Remember, I voted to lower the millage rate last year to the historic low we enjoy today, while still making many improvements. I'm against lowering the millage rate this year under the current economic climate. The surrounding affluent cities with low millage rates have come to the same conclusion as our team initially reached. And then this commission asked our experts to work against their better judgment and produce a budget that would fit 1.9. And here it is. A budget that will not sink us into the ground, but will certainly not propel us to new heights. A budget that's looking at whether the city can survive on less revenue, not focused on how to thrive or whether we're maximizing what we are giving back to our residents. In short, a budget with trade-offs. We as a community will not be better off with this budget. We will pay with our quality of life. For those who beat the less government drum, I say, I agree. To me, an example of less government is not enacting ordinances that duplicate state law. When we
mistakenly, the commission voted for a dune master plan that when the draft plan came through, it was turned out that the committee, the ESAC committee, misrepresented the dune master plan, and the commission was caused to vote on something that was totally different than what had been drafted.
Okay, that's not what we're discussing right now. Wait. We have to stay where this is. We're not going to rehash something that's already voted on.
Well,
we're talking about the millage.
These are budget cuts.
We're talking about the millage.
Yes, and that has to do with budget cuts.
No, the millage has nothing to do with budget cuts. We're just discussing the
Whenever I
budget.
speak, I seem to always get cut off when I'm making a good point. So I need to be able to be allowed to continue to make my point as anyone else.
Again, Vice Mayor, what does this have to do with the millage?
There's also, for this year, there's an additional $40,000 in the budget for Dune Master Plan issues that should be taken out of the budget. Is that correct, City Manager? That's what I was told, that there's an additional $40,000 in the budget.
Oh, okay. Where is it in the budget book that you saw this?
This is what I was told when I questioned it.
By whom?
By Stan.
I don't recall
If you
the
can,
discussion.
please.
This
Okay.
is strictly on the millage rate.
Right, so if we
need
can
to-
just move
I
on.
understand. Okay. There's another issue I would like to bring up because I understood that there was a commissioner or two, another commissioner or two, that was questioning the cost regarding the meditation garden. Is there anyone on the commission that is rethinking the meditation garden?
Vice Mayor, I'm just asking you
That would be a cut of
to,
an additional $1 million out of the budget?
okay,
Anyone?
we're on 3A right now. The city manager added a workshop that was not scheduled in order for us to work through any additional.
That's on the 21st, I understand.
One second, and if there was additional requests or cuts. At that time, there was no consensus to cut any of what you're speaking of. Right now, what we're doing is we are voting based on the discussion we had at the workshop. So this item, the 3A, did you want to say something about the millage? This is about 3A, just the millage rate.
So then I have nothing else to say about the millage rate.
Okay.
Okay. So just wanted to put this into context so you have a little perspective, because obviously there's been a lot of political theater going on with this millage rate, which, I think it's unfair for the citizens because, things are being advertised a certain way, which is not truthful. So I have two properties. I have a rental property here in Sunny Isles Beach, and I have my homestead where I live. So I'll give you some numbers, okay? This is for my rental. There's been a lot of emails going out. There's been a lot of posturing where you're trying to advertise to the public that you're here to, for their benefit. And the way things are being advertised is as if, you're going to save them a lot of money. And that is not the case, okay? So we need to be honest with the citizens. We already, at 2.0, we're already one of the lowest municipalities. If you look at that chart and you take out unincorporated Miami-Dade, we're at number 2, I believe, already, okay? We're at number 3, sorry. So, we're the 3rd lowest municipality when taxes are, property taxes.
Okay, so regrettably, Commissioner Simonson isn't here, and I just have a few words because I was not expecting this. The reason I was not expecting this is that we spent a significant amount of time at the workshop in order to be able to have a public meeting that the public was invited to, that based on that workshop, the manager went back and made these changes. So my concern is that we are at a critical point right now where this budget needs to be approved in order for us to move forward and do business. This is not about $40. This is not about political theater. I'm not exactly even sure what you're talking about specifically. We've been all working very, very hard together and making concessions and at the same time adding programming as I'm looking at some programs that were added. So I need to know what we're doing with 3A. Right now, based on the workshop, the manager went back and lowered it by 1/10. This is consistent with what the county has done. I was in a meeting earlier with Mayor Levine Cava, and this is exactly what the county has done as well in order to provide some sort of assistance. This isn't about $40. So we're not going to go back and forth with this. We need to make a decision today. So I either am getting a motion for 1.9 or I'm not. Did you want to say something, City Manager?
Yes, I just wanted to say that based on our last workshop, as you stated, we took the consensus of the group and we built that into the budget. At this point, we have the millage rate listed at 1.9, and we need to get the millage rate in the budget approved so that we can move forward.
Okay.
May I speak?
Please.
Listen, I'm okay with the 1.9, okay? I just need to make sure that people understand what we're doing here, and they understand what the numbers say and what the truth is. And that's all I'm concerned about. Because going back to political theater, there's been a lot of disinformation going out there, okay? There's been a lot of posturing, not necessarily from us, but I think that we need to kind of go back to square one, look at what the reality is,
again, we all discussed this during the workshop. So if those who were there change their mind about the millage, we couldn't vote at the workshop. So right now, in order for us to move ahead to the next item, I need to get a motion to accept the millage as stated by the city manager. Do I have a motion?
I will move to 1.9, but please, let's keep in mind that we should prioritize certain things regarding the city, okay? And that I think 1.9, I'm okay with it, but let's be mindful of what we want to accomplish too in the coming years. We have a lot of capital expenses coming up. We have certain ideas. We all have certain ideas that we want to accomplish too. So I hope that in the future we don't have to borrow money. We don't have to bond that out if we have any major expenses that we want to do. Like,
Please.
If I may? Okay. This budget process, as we've talked about, has been going on since April. We've gone back and forth. The finance director, deputy city manager, assistant city manager, myself, have spent considerable amount of time and effort to put the budget together. And we base that on our individual workshops and the goals as set by the commission, starting with our philosophical workshop. At this point, we've put the budget together based on the consensus of our last workshop, where we went through, and we literally have done this with many of you, where we've gone line by line through the budget. So at this point, for us to change anything, we need to get the millage rate adopted. I appreciate all of your points, but in order for us to continue moving forward as your government, I think the 1.9 is based on the consensus of the commission, and we need to move that forward, and it has to be now. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And just for clarification, and I know we have, thank you. Okay, so I have a motion and I need a second. All right, if we don't have a second, we have a problem here because we can't move on to the budget. So, Mr. City Attorney, can you please clarify what we need to do?
Well, you have two problems, because not only can't you move on to your budget, but you are required to pass and enact tentative. So
Okay.
you all have to
All right, so-
discuss it until you reach some kind of
Can I
agreement.
make a motion for 2.0?
No, we have a motion on the table right
I thought
now.
it failed.
So it failed on a second.
Well, I can pass the gavel? I make a second?
You can pass the gavel to people, yes,
Okay,
to make a second.
yes. So I second it. So now I can take a vote.
I don't accept the gavel.
What? What do you mean you don't accept the gavel?
I don't have to accept the gavel.
Procedurally, that's not the way that it works.
He doesn't have to accept the gavel.
Okay. So if we have a failed motion on the 1.9 procedurally,
Procedurally, that motion fails, but you all, at some point this evening, have to pass some motion setting your tentative millage rate. So whether that's an alternate motion for a different millage rate, or you keep discussing until somebody is convinced on the 1.9, but unfortunately, you're sort of relegated to having to come to that
Okay.
decision this evening.
all right. So I am going to speak about the millage then, because I think that it's important to discuss some of the points that were made, not necessarily so that we get to 1.9, 2.0, or 1.8. It's for the clarification of what has happened in the last, I guess, 6 months or more. When I counted the amount of meetings that we've had since the beginning compared to last year, like I've said, we've had at least 2 more official meetings, but behind those meetings, we've had, at least I have personally, and from what I understand from the city manager, so has everyone in this commission, significant conversations, many more than in years past, certainly since I've been sitting on this commission. The amount of feedback we got from the public, again, more than I've gotten in past years. to your point,
I already made a motion. Can I make another motion?
Yes, you can do it again. Yes.
Go again?
It's-
yes.
Yeah?
You can because, yeah, you
If-
can.
Okay, okay.
Because
so,
it failed.
All right, so you're making a motion?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Do a roll call. Commissioner Lama,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
No.
Mayor Svechin.
Yes.
The resolution passes 3-1.
Great, thank you. 3B,